Good morning, Foxes. This is Miss Rinkin, and welcome to our next project. This is going to be a Day of the Dead project, and this is the third time I've tried to record this. So if it doesn't work this time, I don't know what I'm going to do. But anyway, for those of you guys who think that just because I'm the teacher, I don't put in the effort, I just want you guys to know that for every project I do 2 of these. So to your 100% of your finished project, I do 200%. Today I am doing 300% because this is my third drawing. So we're doing Day of the Dead, and we're going to use our 7 elements of art here. We're going to use line, shape, space, and color. So we are implementing 4 of our 7 elements of art that we have learned earlier. And the Day of the Dead project, we're working on the sugar skull. The sugar skull is from Mexico, and it is in celebration of Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is November 1st and 2nd, and it is a representation of thankfulness for those who have passed and have gone on to a different place. And in Mexico, they celebrate the life of these people and their relatives during this time period. And I know in America we have a little bit different take on death. It's kind of sad and all of that sometimes, but they rejoice, and they have parties, and they bring food and festivities and photographs of their loved ones, and it's just a huge celebration. They have parades and give thanks for the lives of their relatives. Okay, so we're going to do a small project called a sugar skull. The sugar skull is a representation of the Day of the Dead. It's kind of like the iconic image that people go to. And in the project we're going to use symmetry, which is a balance between whatever is on one side of the skull is going to be repeated or replicated on the other side. We're going to use black outlines because these are very much drawings that have black points on those, and they look finished because of the black outlines. We're going to be choosing Sharpie for that. Through examples of decorative shape and line, they use a lot of different things. They use hearts, flowers, crosses, fleur-de-lures, these swirly type images. Even sometimes they have mustaches and flowers for the eyes. So we're just going to kind of go crazy with this. You can do, again, your own representation of this. I don't want you to copy mine completely. I want you to come up with the shape of the skull and the template, and then from there I want you to put your own decorative ideas on yours. And then the last requirement is 3 color choices to add balance. So I chose, the 3 color choices that I chose for mine is I have a green, a yellow, and a red primary. For the most part, colors are complementary colors, I guess I should say. And these are very much colors of Mexico. So we're going to start with a blank sheet of paper to create our Day of the Dead, and I'm going to show you how to do a transfer to get a complete symmetrical image. So I'm going to fold my paper vertically instead of horizontally, and I'm going to open it so it's going to be up to down. And on one side of this, I'm going to draw my first shape of the skull. So coming from the center where the crease is, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to draw one side. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw the eye, and the eye is farther down on the head. And the eye is kind of rectangular, and I'm going to draw one nostril, and then on down here I'm going to draw half of the mouth, and sometimes they show the teeth exposed like a skeleton, and then a little bit of the jaw. So this is how this looks right now. And then I'm going to fold it over onto itself, and I'm going to trace over the pencil lines that I pressed onto the initial other side of the paper. And this is what we call a paper transfer. If you have trouble seeing it, you can go to a window and you'll be able to see your marks much easier. I'm just kind of going with it. I think I can see fairly well. So I have pressed down, and when I open this up again, I am going to have a repeated skull on the other side. So then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add the teeth back in, add the nostril, and if you can see this you're fine, but sometimes you can't. Alright, so this is my example, and this is a pretty skinny sugar skull. I should have come out a little bit more. So you might want to attempt to make your sugar skull out a little bit further, but for our purposes it'll be just fine. It reminds me Mars Attacks kind of thing. Alright, so this is the first stage. Now the second thing you're going to do is on one side you're going to begin your designs. I'm going to start with doing flower type petals around the eye, and we're just doing one side. And I'm going to also put a flower in the eye. Maybe we'll do half of a mustache. Why don't we do a flower just on the corner with a few swirls? We could do a diamond shape. Oop. I went on the other side. I'm not thinking straight at this point. Do a diamond shape, and then maybe here we could do maybe a half of a cross, maybe half of a heart, maybe a wing, and then maybe a swirly going out. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and you guys, you know, you can pause this and work with me, but I'm going to now trace over what I just did, if I can see it. And again, if you go up to a lighted window, you know, to the glass, you'll be able to see much better. So right now I have the lights off in here, so it's a little dark for me to trace this. I'm having a little bit of a hard time seeing. And anything else? Oh, I have part of the mustache. Alright. So when I open this back up now, if I zoom in, I think you can see that it has pressed down and transferred. And then you simply go back in and trace it. And this is a way to get a completely symmetrical image. It's a trick. So hopefully you guys will remember this forever. And if you ever need to transfer something that is symmetrical or the same on one side as the other, remember you can do the old fold the paper in half trick, and it will be perfect. Alright, so I've got this. And this concludes part 1 of your project, is creating your template. So now you have your finished skull drawn in pencil, and you're going to hang around for part 2. So right now what you would do is go ahead and complete this section, and when you are finished with your finished drawing of this, then you are going to watch part 2, and I will show you how to ink it in with a Sharpie and color it in. Hope you guys have an awesome day.